Just like other businesses, there are specialties in real estate. Hi, I'm Agi Anderson, your Brevard Florida Realtor, and I'd like to share with you specialization in real estate. So there are different specialties that agents prefer in real estate. I am a listing agent. That is my preference, is to obtain listings, market them, really constantly bringing in inventory and doing all the preparation that is required to service listings. And then there's buyer's agents, there's commercial agents, and there's property managers. There may be other specialties as well, but those are pretty much the main ones. So a buyer's agent really is servicing the buyers, which is great. And they don't particularly really care to do listings. So the beauty in that is we collaborate together now. Back in the day, it wasn't so much that way. I would have a seller say to me, "Are you going to be showing my property?" And you were like, well, I guess, you almost felt like I have to, but you really wanted to be focused on listings. And we didn't really have this same setup with buyer's agents. That kind of evolved with time, which is really a better way, in my opinion. So when I get a call about one of the properties I have listed for sale, I will answer all the questions that they have about the property. And then when they ask to see the property, I then say, I'm going to have one of our buyer's agents contact you to set up the appointment for you. And then the buyer's agent is in touch with them to show them the property. And then if for some reason the property I have isn't the one for them, because let's face it, they're not always the right fit, right? Then that buyer's agent can show them other properties, which is fine with me because it's all about servicing the buyer. It's not about me. It's not about the buyer's agent. It is about the buyer and it isn't about the seller, and we have to make sure that we are meeting their needs. And then if the buyer buys another property, it's really nice because then I get a referral fee from that agent. It works very, very well. So that being said, that's how we specialize in our fields. And I think that the public is not given enough information about that, about how we operate. A buyer's agent has a whole nother set of parameters that they work from versus what I'm doing as a listing agent and how I prepare and what I'm doing. And then we always are collaborating, whether it's in my company or another company. I deal with a lot of agents from other companies that are selling the properties that I have listed. And so to me, those agents are kind of like my clients as well. I really value them because they're showing my properties that I have listed, and I really value the time they spend and make certain I am attentive to them, answering their calls, answering their emails, because we are a service-oriented business. And so it's not just about making sure we get back in touch with the buyers, which is critically important, but also getting back in touch with the agents that are really trying to get information for their clients. Because some agents I'm going to tell you, they're hard to get a hold of, especially on weekends. And I really do my best when I have listings that are up, and I know agents sometimes have a hard time getting into a property for whatever reason, or something's amiss. You never know. I really do my best to be of service to the agents showing the property. So I hope this is enlightening to you, that there are those specialties in real estate. There are others as well. Sometimes we have other little niches as well. some of those niches, like for me, there's niches within, being a listing agent. A lot of times I like to work with people that are sizing down, their properties gotten out of hand because it's too big for them now and they want to size down. Or it's a couple in their house has gotten to be, too tight and too small and they want to move up. Sometimes that works out, so it's really, those niches are kind of cool for me because, I'm trying to service, that kind of scenario as well. I myself was an empty nester. I know what it's like to have to get rid of things and go from a big place to a smaller place. And that's a process. So a lot of that type of situation is something I'm familiar with. And I feel like I can be a valuable resource on making it more productive, if you will. And I've also handled very many sensitive situations with listings. For instance, probate sales. I've helped where they've lost a loved one. It's very hard, but I'm sensitive to that. I've worked with divorce situations with a listing. You have to be very sensitive to that. No, I stay completely neutral. You cannot side with one or the other because it is just me handling the transaction of getting the property sold. I don't get involved in any of the factors of the whys or anything like that. And I explain that to each party. My job is just to get your house sold for the best price, terms, and conditions, and just cooperate with me. And I typically will have, their cooperation. I think it's just always being respectful, and then you get the respect back, So there are very sensitive situations I've handled in my long-term career, over 20 years, couple decades. So that's it. These are the specialties. I wanted you to understand how we all kind of operate. Some agents really do both, and that's fine too. There is no right or wrong. It's a matter of preference and how one likes to work. And then, of course, I did another video that I'll put the link in here for with transaction broker. I have done that before as well, where I'm the transaction broker. And sometimes, it's a situation where it just makes sense that I will do that because every situation is a case by case scenario. And that's really the truth because no two transactions are ever alike in real estate. It is highly differentiated in each circumstances. So there are specialties in real estate. I'm Agi Anderson. I specialize in real estate. I'm your Brevard Florida Realtor, and I'll be seeing you on the web.